Coming up on WFT's First at 5, wet summer weather is making its way to north central Florida with a rainy forecast this coming week.
Plus, an alligator attack on the Treasure Coast. Why wildlife officials say the attack could have been a case of mistaken identity.
And a man being charged with a DUI manslaughter after a tragic crash involving an overturned bus that killed and injured many farm workers. First at 5 starts right now.
First at 5. From the University of Florida's College of Journalism and Communications, you're watching WUFT News.
Parts of your weekend will be wet as we take a look at the UF radar. You can see a line of storms and showers just east of Gainesville. And as we move through the hurricane season, the National Hurricane Center is watching a disturbance they say could form into a tropical depression moving onto shore later this evening. The storm is about 100 miles east of Jacksonville. This is WUFT's First at 5. I'm Jada Ross.
And I'm Eva Garcia. Thank you for joining us. Despite what meteorologists say is a well-defined center of circulation, it could be a short-lived system. Let's get right over to meteorologist William Maxham live in the weather studio, tracking what this system means for north central Florida.
Yeah, it looks like what this is going to mean mainly for us is an uptick in heavy rainfall over the next couple days. That system still just a little bit offshore, but what it's going to act to do is bring in a lot of tropical moisture into Georgia, South Carolina, and of course, North Florida. But the symmetry around the center circulation, it's not really there. That's part of the reason it has not yet intensified into a tropical depression. Still a 60% chance that that's going to happen before it makes landfall tonight. But like I said, regardless, it's going to be more of a heavy rain threat. We are in the marginal category for flash flooding tonight, as heavy rainfall rates could exceed 3 inches an hour. We'll watch this very closely, but it looks like a very wet weekend. We're going to track those heaviest showers and storms through the next couple days, coming up in a few minutes.
The spokesperson for a local organization that worked to convert Newberry's public schools into charter ones is accused of sending inappropriate pictures to a teenager. Joel Serby was arrested Thursday. According to the police report, Serby used social media site Snapchat to send inappropriate pictures to the 15-year-old boy. In addition to that, he's also accused of communicating to lure a minor and traveling to lure a minor. Detectives were alerted about the conversations and took over the child's Snapchat account. They say he then tried to coordinate a meetup with him for sex. Serby's former organization, Newbury Education, first posted a statement to their Facebook page about the incident. It reads in part, "Education First for Newbury Inc. is deeply troubled by the arrest of Joel Serby. The allegations against him are gravely serious and contrary to our core values as an organization. We immediately severed all ties with him upon learning of this incident." Serby is being held in the Alachua County Jail with no bond.
Brian McLean Howard has pleaded not guilty to 8 charges of DUI manslaughter after a tragic crash in Marion County last month. Investigators say Howard's Ford Ranger crashed and overturned a bus that carried 50 farm workers on Highway 40 in Marion County. Detectives say that Howard smoked marijuana oil and took prescription drugs the night before the crash. During a hearing Wednesday, a judge denied Howard bond and he is now banned from driving and substance use. He will be back in court in October.
Several agencies are lending help to the Suwannee County Sheriff's Office to bring a missing 12-year-old boy home safely. A missing child alert was activated this morning for Scott Cohen. He was last seen in the area of 168th Street in Live Oak. The Department of Corrections are among the agencies searching for Scott. He was last seen wearing a camouflage hoodie and cowboy boots. Investigators say he left his house on foot heading in an unknown direction. If you see Scott, contact the Suwannee County Sheriff's Office. Firefighters in Alachua County are working to learn what caused a business to catch fire in Hawthorne. The fire happened Thursday afternoon at the business off Southeast 200th Way. On arrival, units say they found heavy flames that spread to a nearby building, but they were able to quickly extinguish the flames. Everyone inside was able to get out of the building safely. No one was hurt.
A Florida man is recovering after he was violently attacked by an alligator on Sunday. Wildlife officials say the attack led to the man getting part of his arm amputated, but they emphasize that encounters like this are rare. Officials with the Florida Fish and Wildlife Conservation Commission say they were just called before 2 a.m. on Sunday about a gator attack in Lake Monroe. Those walking near Lake Monroe Tuesday say they've seen gators in the area but have never had any issues with them. With an estimated 1.3 million gators in Florida, FWC officials say to only swim in designated areas in daylight hours since gators are more active at night.
Alligators are naturally very wary of people. They're not really looking to harm us in most cases. A lot of cases with alligator bites, it's a lot of the times it's a case of mistaken identity. When they're fed, alligators lose their natural awareness of people, and instead they can learn to associate people with the availability of food.
The Florida Fish and Wildlife Commission has trappers who can come into the areas and safely remove the animals.
Authorities say a couple from Pennsylvania died after getting caught in rip currents while swimming at Florida's Stewart Beach. Martin County Fire Rescue said an emergency call came in at approximately 1:30 p.m. for missing swimmers who were pulled from the ocean off Stewart Beach. Lifeguards pulled two unconscious people identified as Brian Warder and Erica Wishart out of the water and began performing CPR. The victims were both from Pennsylvania and were accompanied by their children at the beach. It was the couple's children who called 911. According to the sheriff's office, the couple was taken to Cleveland Clinic Martin North Hospital, where they later died. Two additional swimmers were thought to be in danger in the water, but they got out and were not hurt.
Drivers are advised that overnight I-75 ramp closures are scheduled to occur at the County Road 484 and State Road 200 interchange for resurfacing work. The I-75 southbound off-ramp to 484 will be closed from 8 Tuesday night, June 25th through 7:30 Wednesday, June 26th. Also, the I-75 southbound on the ramp from State Road 200 will be closed from 8 p.m. Monday, July 1st through 7:30 a.m. Tuesday, July 2nd and 3rd. The work schedule is subject to change due to weather or unforeseen circumstances.
Columbia County Sheriff's Office is attempting to locate an owner for a group of pot-bellied pigs. The pigs were located in the area of Oleno State Park. The Sheriff's Office asked if anyone has any information about the possible owner to contact Deputy Lorden with the Columbia County Sheriff's Department.
Coming up next, when First at 5 returns, the stage is set for the first presidential debate of the election season. The strict rules each candidate must abide by.
And upholding the rule of law, the decision by the state's highest court that has domestic violence survivors praising the justices.
You're watching WUFT-TV News.
President Joe Biden and former President Donald Trump are gearing up for a historic showdown with the stage now set for CNN's June 27th presidential debate. The debate qualification window closed just after midnight Eastern Time Thursday, with only Biden and Trump making the cut. Our Washington correspondent Julia Benbrook takes a look at the razor-thin race just 1 week out from the candidates' first face-off this election season.
Political rivals, President Joe Biden and former President Donald Trump, are scheduled to step on to CNN's debate stage next Thursday. It's the first debate in U.S. history between a sitting president and a former president.
Is anybody going to watch the debate? He's going to be so pumped up. He's going to be pumped up. I'll be debating three people instead of one half of a person.
Only Biden and Trump met the debate requirements set by the network, which included constitutional, polling, and ballot qualification thresholds. A lot is on the line for both candidates.
What do you think you need to accomplish on that debate stage?
Say what I think. Let him say what he thinks. The things he said are off the wall.
The two remain locked in a close race. A national poll published by Fox News on Wednesday shows Biden leading Trump by 2 points. It's a 3-point improvement for Biden over last month's Fox News poll, where Trump led by 1 point. Some experts say Trump's recent criminal conviction could be a factor.
Trump is a convicted felon now, which he wasn't a few months ago, and independent voters really don't like that in their president.
President Biden does have a slight advantage with some of those swing voters. Now, granted, we're 5 months ahead. Those numbers are going to constantly change.
The debate could be a defining moment in a presidential race that's solidified earlier than usual and features two universally known candidates. Reporting in Washington, I'm Julia Benbrook.
Today, Supreme Court justices upheld a federal law that makes it a crime for people under domestic violence restraining orders to have guns. It's a move that was met with praise from protesters outside the Supreme Court. The 8-1 ruling, authored by conservative Chief Justice John Roberts, overturned a lower court's decision striking down the 1994 law as a violation of the U.S. Constitution's Second Amendment to keep and bear arms. The law was challenged by a Texas man who was subject to a restraining order for assaulting his girlfriend in a parking lot and later threatening to shoot her. Justice Clarence Thomas filed the only dissent.
With state officials pointing to issues such as job growth in the construction industry, Florida's unemployment rate remained at 3.3% in May. That's according to the latest jobs report released this morning. The rate was the same back in April, inching up in previous months. Florida had a 2.8% unemployment rate in May 2023. According to the Florida Department of Commerce, more than 300,000 people qualified as unemployed last month. The total labor force was more than 11 million. The national unemployment rate was 4% in May, the first time the figure has been that high since January 2022. Governor Ron DeSantis says Florida's economy continues to outpace the nation.
We're outdoing the nation, and that's because we have better policies than what they have throughout the rest of the nation.
The labor force grew by 100,000 people from May 2023 to May 2024. Over the same period, the number of unemployed workers also increased from 306,000 to 361,000.
Florida residents looking to get a head start on lobster season got good news this week when Governor Ron DeSantis announced an additional day has been added to the 2024 recreational spiny lobster mini season. The mini season set for Wednesday, July 24th and Thursday, July 25th will start 10 days earlier for Florida residents on Sunday, July 14th. The regular commercial and recreational lobster season will begin on August 6, 2024 and end on March 31st, 2025. DeSantis added that day in hopes that Florida residents participate in the July 14th date and they have fun with it. In addition, the Florida governor announced the prize for the 2024 Lionfish Challenge, which is running through September 2nd, 2024.
And looking at radar, we have a swirl of showers just to the east of Jacksonville this week. Tropical system will move onshore tonight. We'll have more coming up.
You're watching WUFT-TV News.
Welcome back. Flash flooding risk in the marginal category for this evening. We're expecting to see weak tropical system moving onshore tonight, bringing some very heavy rain rates. 3 inches an hour is possible, and we're not seeing rain rates quite that intense from showers now, but we do have numerous small showers across Marion County into Levy County. One's over Levy, carrying a little lightning and thunder. Storms, of course, going to become more numerous later into the night. Most of the heaviest stuff over the next few hours going to be confined areas right along the coast. We can see a bit of a swirl in some of these showers here. A little easier to detect that on the visible satellite. You can see the clouds clearly swirling around the center of circulation here. It's still offshore, going to be moving onshore in the next couple of hours, but you'll also notice not a lot of clouds here because, well, we've had a lot of dry air just north of this area of low pressure, and that drier air has been kind of pulling itself into the center and limited the ability of this system to strengthen over the past couple of days. But still, in the next few hours, there's a 60% chance that this could intensify a bit to a tropical depression before moving onshore. But like I said, that drier air has been limiting its potential strengthening. But as it pushes onshore later tonight, we're going to see showers ticking up, especially areas right along the coast. I think this particular model is showing most of the heaviest rainfall for central parts of North Florida, arriving tomorrow into the middle part of the afternoon. This is 5 o'clock in the evening. Ocala and Gainesville picking up heavy rain at that time. This is just one of the many waves of showers we're likely to see. Another one looks like coming through early Sunday morning, and showers will continue for much of the day Sunday. So a wet weekend coming our way. Flash flooding going to be possible from those showers moving onshore and through the day Saturday. And that could overwhelm those drainage systems. So the marginal flood risk does include all of pretty much North Florida and all of at least our chunk of North Florida for tomorrow. Rainfall is going to be anywhere between a ½ inch to maybe around an inch, but some higher amounts are definitely possible, especially if we get training thunderstorms. So that's something we're going to watch real carefully. But next few hours, not a great deal of activity. You might be able to get out and about this evening, but showers are going to pick up over the next few hours, riding along those easterly winds, and it looks like the wet weather going to continue into next week as well. Showers and thunderstorms will be numerous for the first few days of next week, with temperatures into the mid-90s. We do dry off and heat up a bit as the work week wraps up Thursday into Friday.
It's finally Friday. I'm Jamie Goldman. Let's jump right into sports. Olympic hopefuls have converged on Eugene, Oregon for the start of the U.S. track and field trials. Every one of the athletes there is there with the goal of securing a trip to Paris. NBC's Jay Gray reports from Eugene, Oregon.
Off and running. The race to Paris now officially underway. Around 900 runners, jumpers, and throwers gathering in the Pacific Northwest for the U.S. track and field trials. A field that includes 5 returning individual gold medalists and more than a dozen other U.S. medalists from the Tokyo Games. The best of the best trying to earn a spot on Team USA.
This is almost one of the most important meets. You need to be ready now and then have to be ready again, because in our events, this is the hardest team to make in the world. So when we come in, we have to be primed, we have to be ready to go.
Prime time in the sport's premier venue, Hayward Field on the University of Oregon campus.
It's hard to describe, but there's magic here. Everybody thinks it's the track or the wind or the facility, all that's, it's not that. There's something about this that draws out every single person's best performance.
In a place, Eugene, known as Tracktown USA, this city and the fans embracing their heroes.
Everyone knows your name, everyone's cheering for you. You know, they're excited, almost more excited for you than you are. You know, you have the nerves and they're more excited.
Excitement helping to fuel these hopefuls as they clear the last hurdle to making Team USA. Jay Gray, NBC News, Eugene, Oregon.
26 total Gators will be competing in Oregon, 11 current and 15 former Gators. On the women's side, Parker Valby will be competing in the 5,000 meter and 10,000 meter, and Claire Bryant will compete in the long jump. On the men's side, former Gator Grant Holloway is looking to qualify for his second Olympic Games. Holloway earned a silver medal in the 110-meter hurdle event in Tokyo in 2020. The Olympic trials begin tomorrow in Eugene, Oregon. After a long season, we are down to just 2 teams in college baseball. For the second straight year, 2 SEC schools are battling it out in the final round of the College World Series. After beating the Florida Gators on Wednesday, the Texas A&M Aggies advanced to their first College World Series final in program history. On the other side of the bracket is another new face in the finals in the Tennessee Volunteers, who haven't made the final since 1951. The best of 3 series is set to get going tomorrow night at 7:30 in Omaha. One final note, the College Baseball Foundation has named Florida's Jack Caglione as the nation's top 2-way player for this season.
Wow, he is really getting it done on both sides of the field.
Before we go, one last check on weather.
Yeah, we're going to deal with a few showers this evening, but I think most of the next several hours is going to be dry out and about if you're in the Gainesville area. Over the next couple days, though, the rain chances creep up. Tomorrow, we're looking at heavy rain as that tropical system moves on shore.
Thanks for joining us. We're off next week due to summer break, but First at 5 will return July 1st.
But your North Central Florida news is always on at WUFT.org and on all our social media platforms. Have a good night.